On two. Ready? Hey!
Welcome.
Yes, sir. Welcome. We are back with this thing, man. Like I said, same time, same place, same uniform, man. We in this motherfucker. So let's talk about some fucking draft, man. Like I said, we are good to go. That's what we're here for. Talk about the draft, right? Draft is coming on. So we gonna talk about the draft, man. What happened? What didn't happen? What's going on? That's what we're gonna do. So, like I said, we appreciate all of y'all with us throughout this whole journey, throughout the off season, man. But before we get into it, man, how you doing?
Good, man. Very eventful week up until this point. The draft is over with. We have some winners. We have some losers. We have some really big steals. We kind of have some picks where you kind of scratching your head like, what are you doing there? So this is kind of where things will start to shape up. It's like before the draft, you don't really know what you can eat. You kind of you can't really a skewed perspective. You can't really tell what the teams are going to look like until after the draft. Now you say, okay, you've improved in these positions, got worse in these positions. Now, obviously, minicamp and training camp. Minicamps, I think you're at a start. Training camp's coming up soon. You'll be able to get a better idea. But at least now you're like, okay, you filled these holes. Now at least you have some idea of an expectation of like who's going to be where. You really have some better predictions, like who won, who lost, who's going to be good this year, and who's probably not going to be so good this year. So, but if you like this kind of content, make sure to like, follow, subscribe across YouTube and all these other platforms across the bottom as well, whether it's Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. If you like audio, you can check out Spotify, Amazon, Apple. But like I said, if you aren't subscribed already, make sure to subscribe. And if you're on YouTube, hit that bell notification. So every time we go live like that, you'll be able to check us out. Daily uploads with shorts. We do game streams. We do weekly shows like this. We do interviews. We do pretty much anything under the sun. If you like college football and NFL, we have something for you.
We got it all, man. So, you got the graph thing?
Yeah, I'm about to. I'm trying to pull it up right now. I'm trying to get a recap. Let's see. Pro Football.
I think NFL.com had one. I think. But
I just got off of final snap grades for each team. Okay, let's see. Maybe this is. Yeah, this will be good enough. And we can kind of compare our grade with who did this one. Stupid ads. This is Chad Reuter, draft analyst from NFL. So let's get this pulled up. Present. Share screen. Snap grades. Okay, let me just make sure. No thanks. Okay, perfect. Okay. So it looks like we're going to be starting in the NFC. Starting in the NFC West, we have the Arizona Cardinals. They swing and they hit big, man. They draft Jeremiah Love 3rd overall. I think his contract is $50 million guaranteed, which is crazy. They address guard in the 2nd round, and I didn't see this coming, but man, they got Carson Beck in round 3. They got Sid from Ice Age, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, see it from Ice Age.
And I felt like they addressed some areas of need. They got to protecting the quarterback. They got some skill positions on offense and some needed positions on defense. What do you think? Do you think an A is justified here?
Yeah, I think that whole draft is an A, man. Because, like I said, you're looking at Jeremiah Love, obviously. That's the bell cow you need, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you like James Conner, he's a little older now, right? So you need to find some youth at that position, right? And I think James Conner could be more so of a 3rd down back, if you ask me, because he catches and runs routes very well. So that could work out for the best, right? You upgrade linemen. late in the draft and early in the draft, so that's pretty cool. I like to see Southeastern Louisiana there because that means somebody was actually doing some scouting, right? So I like that part. And then you get to Carson Beck, man. Not He's up and down, right? You either love him or you hate him, right? So throughout his Georgia run, you could say, not so much a top prospect, right?
Mm.
But when you look at his run throughout this college football playoff, right? I was like, okay, there's some good traits there, right? Like he didn't turn the ball over too much, and he looked like a competent quarterback. Like maybe you could get a late first round or a second round out of him and not be looked at like what the fuck,
Mm-hmm.
But getting them in the third round, I thought was a good move, right? Because now you got a true quarterback competition, right? You either go with Jacoby or you go with Carson Beck. Now, if he gets the job, is he a placeholder or is he the answer? That is what I need to see, right? I don't know, right?
I feel.
Because Jacoby's going to be a placeholder if he starts, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the question is what you want to do, right? So I think they got an A, man, top to bottom. I think you addressed everything, and I think a lot of these players can be really good pieces for them. And usually your seventh round pick kind of has a little bit of a hard time, but on a team like this, that's probably going to finish last in the NFC West again. Um, you gotta do what you can do, right? And they got a little better. They still not gonna finish above last though.
I think them drafting him in round. I think them drafting him in round 3 is a testament. I think they think he's the guy. I feel like in years
Yeah,
past, it feels like if you drafted a quarterback in round 1, he's your guy. And it felt like anything after that was kind of like whatever, felt like kind of filler. But I feel like in the last few years or so, we've seen teams like get a quarterback second, third, or even fourth round and think, okay, like we're going to legitimately put time and effort into this person. We think they might be able to be the guy. And them taking Beck in the third round, I think that was hey, we're going to try to roll with this guy type of move.
I
Let's
agree.
see. Okay, we got the Atlanta Falcons up, man. Not a terrible draft. They got Evian
No,
Terrell in the first round. That was good at corner. They didn't have a first round pick. Getting Zachariah Branch in round 3 was a steal. Whoever is going to be the quarterback in Atlanta in the long run is going to love that guy. I like them getting Kendall Daniels from Oklahoma. The steal, I feel like, for them is them getting Harold Perkins in round 6. That was insane. You
yeah,
have a potential all-pro type player that can be an immediate impact player for you. You got him around 6. Like, he's not the same, but the last time I feel like Atlanta had a guy like that was Vic Beasley. Like, just
yeah,
that big-time impact, can rush the passer, can be anywhere. With 2016, I believe he had like 15 sacks or something crazy. Like insane. And he didn't have a terrible career after that, but I just see Perkins, especially with the value they got him, I just feel like he could be that guy, just like that cornerstone piece for that defense that has immense amounts of talent, whether it be up front or in the secondary. The Falcons are very talented, and I feel like he's going to be that chess piece for them moving forward.
yeah. So I forgot what was the other guy they got, but they got James Pierce, and then they got another guy. I
From
forgot the other
Georgia.
guy. Yeah. So James Pierce seems to be kind of wiggled his way out of trouble, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in terms of the legal system, but the NFL still might suspend him for a while, right? But that's okay, right? If he can come back with a clear mindset, you still end up having some really good pass rush options, man.
Mm-hmm.
You got those two bookends, and then you add Harold Perkins in there. You can mix and match that defense in a whole lot of ways, right? You got AJ Terrell, and then you got his brother on the other side. So
Mm-hmm.
you got two guys that can probably do some good work. So um, I kind of like it, man. I like the ability. I just think you have to have you have to move Harold Perkins around. You can't just have him in the middle. You seen that didn't work with Brian Kelly at LSU. It didn't work, right? You took away what he does best, and
Mhm.
that's getting after the quarterback and shutting down the quick pass game, right? Because he's got a lot of speed to do that. So hopefully they have a good plan and they see what we see in terms of how good their team can be, because they can cause some havoc in the NFC South, right? They could really, really cause some havoc, man. If you just use those bookends and then use Perkins as an extra blitzer or something like that, man. But you got a lot. So I like that draft. I like Zachariah Branch too, man. I think him he's gonna cause some havoc, man. You know, and with him being on the field, you should keep Kyle Pitts because
Mm.
now you create a one-on-one scenario
It just depends if they're
across
going
the
to actually
board.
feed him, though. That's the question. Are they actually going to utilize him? Because and maybe
Well,
Stefanski will do. Maybe Stefanski will do
yeah,
what
that
those
that
other guys.
that was my point. That was my
Mhm.
point. My point was that if Stefanski understands what he's trying to do, I think he'll understand what he got. Right? Because, like I said, Stefanski isn't a dummy. I just think in Cleveland, he had his hand tied behind his back a little bit. Because I felt like the Cleveland Browns wanted to be right so bad that they didn't understand that Shadur was the guy all along. You know, they just wanted to be right about, like, oh well, Dylan Gabriel's the guy. You know, rather than understanding that Shadur was as arrogant as you think he is and as confident as you think he's not. He was the right answer at quarterback. But you can tell the way that season went that up top they was trying to sabotage this momentum. Because I don't know if you saw it like I did, the Browns looked good when Shadur was playing. They looked better. Their offense flowed a little bit better. It just felt better, and the fans loved them, right?
I
So
mean,
I think going into this situation with the Falcons, I really think he's going to be all right. I think he's like, all right, Arthur Blank's going to let me kind of do my thing. And I think he's gonna go with the quarterback that probably helps them win, whether it's Tua or Michael Penix. And I personally think it might be Tua because I don't think Arthur Blank really cares right now about Michael Penix because he didn't really agree with that draft pick anyway. So he's kind of like, the dude from Rocky. If he dies, he dies.
maybe maybe they should go get Aaron Rodgers. He's a free agent.
You know what? Hey, Aaron, this might be the most fun Aaron Rodgers has had his whole career because he got hella weapons to choose from, bro. You
Hmm.
can't even forget about Bijan, bro. Like he's in the backfield, so like, yeah.
Yep.
So that's my whole thing.
But
So
I,
I
I
think the
agree with
Falcons
the
will.
I agree with a B minus though. I think that's a fair grade for the Falcons.
I would even go A minus, and only because you got Branch, and then you got Harold Perkins later, right? Those two players can help you like today. You know what I'm saying? If they started playing today, those players could help you today.
Hmm.
All right, man.
So
So
we got
let's
the
see my
Ravens.
team. All right. So if you watch the draft show, I was kind of like, oh man, I don't know, right? And only because that's the player we needed, but not the player I wanted, right? Because I went back and watched a little bit of I want to say Ione's film, right? And he's a road grader, man. He's got some real nasty in him, man. And I like that. I like that a lot. So inside you need those nasty dudes. So I think it works. I think it works. So I'm looking at Young from Missouri. That only helps because we got Mike Green last year from Marshall, so that's a pass rusher. I think we got Teddy Buchanan from Cal. He's a nice little linebacker as well. So we getting after the quarterback this year. And like I said, I like it. I like it. So Jacoby Lane, 6'4", right? That's the big threat we need. Elijah Surratt, he's another big guy receiver. So maybe you move Flowers to like a slot guy and he can really affect the game like he's supposed to, right? So that's cool, man. I like Josh Cuevas. I think he's a tough, like he's a tough dude, right? He can catch the ball and he can block. Okay, but just don't think you're gonna tackle him with just one guy. Okay, he gets through a lot. So,
What's going
the
on, Bob?
punter was interesting. What up, Bob? The punter was interesting. I wasn't expecting us to take a punter, but hey, it works, man. And then you got some more depth with Benny and then Evans from Northwestern. So, like I said, we hit on some good shit.
You
Okay.
finally got weapons for Lamar to throw to.
Yeah, you hit on some shit,
My
man.
favorite pick
So
is Young, though. I like Zion Young for y'all. I think
I
that's like
do too,
I think that's
man.
probably my favorite pick y'all made.
I
And
do
I think
too,
y'all
man.
getting him where y'all got him was a good spot.
Yeah, because he was like a French first rounder, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it. I like it. I don't know much about Hibner and Rivers for per se, but if you can get some good guys that can help you out a little bit, that works, right? We got to replace Likely, so anything helps, you know. So, but we'll see, man.
Do you think B
We'll
plus is
see.
fair?
Yeah, yeah. I could go A minus too because you hit what the what the
Bob likes turtles.
okay. I like turtles too, man. I guess so. I go A minus for real because you hit on a lot of stuff, and you didn't just draft people. You got quality players at those positions. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we got my arch nemesis, the Buffalo Bills. They
Yeah.
definitely addressed a lot of areas of need. Defense was obviously a big struggle for them down the stretch, other than Josh Allen being a choker. But I liked TJ Parker off the edge. They really need help getting pressure on the quarterback. They needed help in the secondary. I was surprised they only took one receiver because I feel like the Bills really don't have a whole lot of weapons. But it seems like they really prioritized and went defense. They took a punter in the 7th round as well. They had 3 7th-round picks. I don't know. I don't know if I'd give them an A necessarily. I'd probably say like a B plus, just for the fact that they really prioritized defense and I feel like they filled whatever holes they needed to fill or got depth at positions they needed better depth at. I mean, the biggest thing for me is, yeah, I mean, you needed a good draft, but I really don't know how to feel about them because you're not bringing Sean McDermott back, which I feel like that was a mistake. I feel like that was a stupid move. And you're bringing a guy like, and I'm not a hater of Joe Brady. Obviously, I like Joe Brady. He helped us win a national championship, but I just don't know how that's going to transition, like how the team is going to play now. Because I mean, McDermott was there almost a decade, and for the most part, they played good, tough defense. And, the offense kind of started overtaking defense at the end. But I'm wondering, is it going to be like very offensive centric? And is the defense going to take another step back? Or like, is it going to be more balanced? I don't feel like they had a bad draft. Just kind of curious to see what they look like come week one. I'd probably say B plus. Not a bad draft.
Yeah, I mean, I think they got a late round gem in Toriano Pride from Missouri. I like the way he plays. Right, he's not afraid to tackle, man, and he's sticky in coverage. Right, so kind of like remember how they drafted uh
Davies White.
Levi Wallace from
Yeah.
Alabama.
Yeah.
Like he was like Levi Wallace was like that, sticky in coverage, and like you could get a lot of depth out of that, you know. So I'm excited to see what they do, man. So I like the fact that they traded out of the first round a couple times, and that just added some more depth for them to get some picks later, right? So, but we'll see, man. I don't know, but I'd say like B plus though. I'd say B plus. It wasn't terrible.
Okay. Let's move on, shall we? We have the Carolina Panthers. Now, this one, not a whole lot. I really like them getting Monroe Freeling in the first round. I think you needed to secure the edge to protect Bryce, especially we've seen major strides from him in year 3, I think, yeah. The Carolina Panthers won the division, so I think that was a really good move. I love them getting Lee Hunter on the defensive line because they still have some good players up front there. Chris Brazell, another good weapon for him to throw to. We were talking about before the draft how we needed to get a solid number 2. I was very surprised that we did not draft a running back. I don't think they signed anybody crazy in free agency. It wasn't a crazy draft. They got better depth at corner. You got J.C. Horn. I forget the other guy's name back there. You got a safety. You got linebacker. Nothing flashy in the paint. I think they just got straight to business. I don't know about an A-. I'd probably say a B+ again, honestly. I think they did good. I don't feel like this team got worse. I feel like they just improved in smaller areas.
I'm gonna say a C+, man. Because you got Freeland, that's cool, but I feel like you needed to address the running back position, man, right? And you got a guy like Washington right there. Like if you're gonna reach on somebody, reach on somebody that can help you tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like Washington could have helped them a lot. Like if the season started tomorrow. That's a running back that can help you. You can address offensive linemen a little bit later because there's some good offensive linemen in
It
this
was a
draft.
deep class. It was a deep tackle class.
Yeah, so I felt like maybe they reached on Freeland when they probably could have got somebody else at running back. And that's cool, right? I just feel like that's the move I would have made because you lost doubt, you know? So you have to be able to run the football in the NFC South, right? That's the thing that works. Anybody that wins it probably runs the ball pretty well. So I don't know. That's why I say C plus because nobody stands out in this draft for real of their draft class except for Freeland, right? You might get something out of Brazil, right? But that could be maybe 2-3 years down the line, right? You never know. Drafting a receiver, anyway, right? So nothing stands out, but I guess they hit on some needs. So I'd say C plus.
Okay, we got the Bears. I actually like the Bears draft. I thought Thieneman was a steal for them at 25. I didn't think he was still going to be on the board at that point. I love them getting them. I love them getting Logan Jones center. I feel like that's a really good way to solidify your offensive line. They got another tight end option. The best pick, and this is not being biased, but them getting Xavier Thomas, that's a game changer. Because that guy can be a game changer for you in the kick return game, in the punt return game. You could put him in the slot. You could put him out wide and let him run streaks. The guy runs like a 4.3 40. Big time, fast receiver. They already have good weapons as it is. Now you have a third receiver in that room plus Loveland. Great value there. I'd probably get. I think I'm okay with A- here. I don't feel like the Bears had a whole lot of holes. They addressed linebacker too. They lost Tremaine Edmonds. They addressed that. They addressed defensive tackle, and they got another good cornerback as well. So I'm fine with giving the Bears an A- here.
Okay, nah, I'm cool. I'm cool with it too. I think they got a steal in Muhammad. I think he might be an impact player for them this season. Because you need another corner, right? And then, like I said, the tenement was perfect. That was perfect for them. So I like that. And you got Kashawn Elliott a little later. Who knows if he helps this season. But losing Emmons, you gotta get some help at linebacker. So and linebackers have a pretty good draft rate regardless of where you get them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. So I say A minus is cool.
Okay, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. Interesting draft. I mean, I feel like the Bengals did really good in free agency. You know, trying to at least beef up their defense and be able to at least make them a bit more respectable because, man, they couldn't get any worse than what they were working with previously. I love them getting Cassius Howell here. They went for another A&M edge rusher, but I feel like Howell is a bit more of a sure thing than what you had in Shamar Stewart last year. I think we've seen – because I feel like Shamar, we didn't give a crap about Shamar until we seen his combine. But Howell, we've seen him wreaking havoc on teams every given Saturday. Just a really big impact player coming off the edge. I like them getting Davis at corner. They didn't address defense as much as I would have liked, but the offensive players they got made sense. You're trying to keep protecting Burrow. You address center with a Law out of Auburn. You got a tackle out of Duke. You got Kobe Young out of Georgia. That was a good pick. You need another weapon to go with T. Higgins, Chase. And then you got another tight end. I feel like they don't really have a viable tight end option right now. So for Cincinnati, I'd probably say a B minus. Still respectable, like no crazy big impact guys like outside of Howell, but I feel like they got good value for the most part.
Man, I'm gonna say C minus, man. If they didn't get Cassius Howell, man, this might have been a D, right? Because the only reason I say it's a D is because of them trading the 10th overall pick, right? You trade that pick away, and that's fine, right? You got a big time guy in the middle of your defensive line, right? But at what cost, you know? Because I feel like if you really wanted to trade that, you could have got way more access to add to this, right? Like you trade it away and then you really don't do much with it, right? I see a lot of teams with like impact players with their later picks, right? We just talked about the Bears, right? We talked about the Falcons, right? You know, getting impact players later. How many of these guys really are going to impact their team next year or make them better defensively, right? Because it's not a question of offense, it's a question of defense, right? And I think Cassius Howell helps you in the pass rush a little bit, right? But what if it takes them a long time to get ready, you know? To get all pro ready, right? In the sense that that's what you're expecting because of what you had with Hendrickson, right? Anything less than that type of production is a failure in a sense, right? Because you're drafting these guys to make up for what you lost, right? You're trading that 10th pick for Dexter Lawrence to get something to match what you just lost, right? And as good as Lawrence is, he's not Warren Sapp that's going to get you 5+ sacks a year, right? He's a run stopper, which is fine, but you had way other issues on that defense than just stopping the run, right? So I don't know what they really did to address all of that, right? Because I don't think any of these dudes are going to impact them on defense as much as they want. And that's the biggest question. That's what's stopping them from being a Super Bowl contender every year. Is defense. That's it. Because they can score 40, but they're going to give up 45. So, like, that's the issue. So I just feel like maybe you could have done a little bit more, especially with the trade. If you didn't want the 10 spot, you could have traded that and got an extra third, an extra fourth.
Did you see who they tried? Did you see who they tried trading that number 10 pick before they got Lawrence?
No, I didn't see it.
They had a trade package on the table to get Max Crosby after the trade fell through with y'all. But Vegas wanted 2 first-round picks like y'all gave, and Cincinnati's like, we're not giving 2 first-round picks with question marks on the table. They were willing to give a first-round pick and some other good picks on the table, but they're like, I'm not giving you 2 first-round picks. So that was on the table before they got Lawrence.
And I mean, that's fine, but even if you got Max Crosby, that only solves like half the issue, you know? Because I can double team Crosby all game and you won't even stop nobody in the back end.
But they did get some good veteran guys on the line in free agency, like guys who can be impact players. Who, I mean, if you are in win now mode, that is, I mean, that was the right move. Getting experienced veteran guys, you know, who can at least make somewhat of an impact if you're trying to make a run.
Yeah, because and then that's where my thing comes where I said they get like a C, because even though you got all of those, you know, veterans, right? That helps you for a minute, but you got to develop these guys.
Yeah, but they're in win now mode.
They kind of have to be.
Well, they have to, because they know if they don't get to the Super Bowl in the next 2 years or so, Burrow's going to want out.
Yeah, and
so that's why they and I get why you're being critical, but I think that's a reason maybe why the draft doesn't jump off the page, because I think they're just trying to fill in the holes, and getting a guy like Howell, I think they at least say, okay, this guy can come in and be at least somewhat productive for us right away, but we have veteran guys to help at least lift us up on defense to where the offense doesn't have to freaking drop 55 to win every week. So, but man, we talk about the Browns. The Browns killed it. Let's just be honest. Like, I think this is the best class I've seen from the Browns ever. They get Spencer Fanu in the first round. Now, we kind of was surprised because he wasn't the highest rated tackle, but nonetheless, he was a good tackle. You get Concepcion out of A&M. That's a great pick. You get Denzel Boston. That's another solid receiver out of Washington. McNeil Warren out of Toledo was one of the better safeties that was in this class. I liked who else did they get here? They got the only one that kind of was a head scratcher was them drafting Taylor Green in the 6th round, because it just kind of feels like, man, it feels like last year we were gonna have like 8 quarterbacks on the roster at one point, so kind of a bit of a head scratcher. I don't know why we drafted 2 tight ends. I feel like Harold Fannon's kind of your guy. I feel like that's your guy, and I feel like he's damn near solidified in that spot. But they addressed tackle, they addressed center. They continued to get depth at linebacker, Justin Jefferson out of Alabama. I think I'd be okay with an A- here, because they got really good value in the first half of the draft. I thought they did really good. The back end isn't flashy, but they got positions of need. But I really like – it's the same thing that happened with Cleveland last year, in a sense that, like, they hit on, like, their first 4 or 5 picks, and then they had a few picks after that where you kind of scratched your head like, maybe, maybe not. But for the most part, yeah, I think the Browns knocked it out the park.
Yeah, man, I think they did too, man. So I agree with you. They got a lot of good players, man. So
it's a bright future, man. If they roll with Shador, that's some good weapons, bro. You have Concepcion, you have Boston, you have Judy, you have Harold Fannin. They brought another guy from LSU in too. I forget who. I think it was Aaron Anderson. You know who Aaron Anderson is, who was from you guys. He's a good player as well. So I think the Browns might have a bright future, but we'll see. Let's move on.
It all depends on what. It all depends on who starts at quarterback, honestly.
So let's move on to the Cowboys. Let's start with this number 11 pick with Downs. Let's talk about how the Giants literally handed Caleb Downs to the Cowboys on a silver platter. I thought that was a mistake. I feel like they shouldn't have went tackle there. I feel like they should have taken Downs without even a thought or a heartbeat. But nonetheless, Dallas gets best safety in the draft. They get Malachi Lawrence, one of the best edge rushers in the draft. They address edge again in round 3. They address the offensive line. They get LT Overton. I thought that was a really good pick in round 4. And they address receiver again in round 7. I'd probably give them a B. I wouldn't say B+ or B-. I feel like their first, just kind of like the other ones, I feel like round 1, the first 2 picks they had, man, they really knocked them out of the park. And the other ones weren't that bad, but I give them a B.
You know what? As a Cowboys hater, man, I actually think they had a good draft. I think it's an A. because you've been chasing, trying to find that production. You're trying to make up that production from Michael Parsons, right? You've been trying to get that. I think you did it this time, right? You got Malachi Lawrence and you got Barham, right? So you're gonna get after the passer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get LT Overton, who's like a beast in the middle, right? So that's a good thing. If you pair him with Quentin Williams, that's a good duo up
Don't
front,
they have
right?
Rashawn Gary too, though? Yeah.
Exactly. So there you go, right? So you got some edge depth now, so you can make up that production that Michael Parsons left, right? Then you ended up with LT Overton, so that helps you in the inside, right? So then you add Shelton, and then you add Smith later. That helps you in the receiving room, right? But getting Caleb Downs helps
That
you
was a
in the back
steal.
end.
Steal.
That
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 shouldn't have
helps you
happened,
in the
bro.
back end.
That should not have happened.
Because if you think about, remember how going into the draft with Zeke, right? How everybody was saying like, okay, well, you draft Zeke, that's cool, right? But getting Jalen Ramsey felt like the better move, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can move him to corner or safety, right? And that affects your defense way more than just getting a running back. Now, it worked out for Zeke per se, right? But who's still playing right now?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So when you think about that particular draft, I think it goes back to that in a vaguely, but it does. I'm not about to miss out on getting a generational defensive back prospect, right? Because that's what Caleb Downs is. I think he's good enough to play your nickel. I think he's good enough to play safety, and he's fast enough to play in the box and make some tackles as well. So I think that was the biggest thing. That's why I give it an A, because he instantly changes their defense like vastly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it gives them a shot to finish maybe second instead of like last or third in a sense, right? Because out of all the teams, it seems like they got better than everybody else. So there you go. So I think that helps. That's an A for me.
Okay, we got the Denver Broncos. Let's check it out. So we go defensive tackle at A&M. Damn, that's crazy. Didn't have a first or a second round pick.
Or second.
I feel like they didn't do bad, man. It's really nothing that really jumps off the page. I did like
No.
them draft. I did like them drafting another running back. I think that was a position of need. They took care of the offensive line. They got another tight end option. I don't know if I'd give them an A minus here. It just not really. I'd probably go B minus.
Yeah, I'll probably go B minus as well, man. I think you got some depth because I believe they lost Greenlaw, right?
Yeah, well, hold up. No, huh?
I
Hold
think
up.
so. If I'm not mistaken, I think they lost Greenlaw.
Let me double check. Maybe they did. Let's see. Dre Greenlaw. Yeah, he's with the Niners. So yeah, they lost him.
Yeah, so you get some depth with the guy from Texas A&M, right? That's perfect, you know. And then say one of these tight ends playing out, right? You got another weapon for Bo Nix, right? You got some help, Boise State guard. You got some help with that, and then Miles Scott. Let's see what if he pans out. I think you got the team itself is good enough that you could draft people like this,
Yeah,
right?
the roster is
And
pretty complete for the most part.
yeah, so you could draft some guys that maybe produce next year, maybe not, but you got them and you can develop them. And that's one thing Sean Payton does. He develops players, right? Think about Pierre Thomas, right? You think about using Darren Sproles properly, like everybody should have, all those guys, right? So I think you got a lot of guys, some glue guys, right? No stars, but dudes that could propel you to win a championship. That's what you did here. And like I said, you used your draft capital correctly by getting Jalen Waddle. He instantly helps your offense. So if you're gonna use the draft, which people think the draft is just picking people, no, your draft picks is like money. So if you invest it in the right people, right? Say you want to give up a couple first rounders, you better get somebody like Jalen Waddle who can help you right now. You know,
Mhm.
so that's the whole thing, right? So I think they did good, man, for a team that's
Was
probably
one
gonna win, probably gonna win the AFC West, but that's gonna be tough this year, man. Once we get down to the other teams, it's gonna be tough. But they made some good moves. Good moves.
Okay, we got Detroit on the board here. I really like them addressing tackle in round one with Blake Miller. They addressed
Yeah.
edge, somebody to go on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson. They got Derek Moore out of Michigan. They drafted Michigan again in the third round with linebacker. I feel like they really prioritized defense here because they realized they needed to improve there. And I'm glad they got the linebacker because you lost one of your glue guys in Anzalone in free agency, which was a huge
Yeah.
loss. Probably a very
Yeah.
underrated loss. They
Yeah.
really addressed it, man. And they got another weapon for Jared Goff. Obviously, you have Amon Ra, you have Sam Laporta, you have Jamison Williams. Doesn't hurt to have another really good receiver back there. I'm willing to say the Lions finished with an A minus. Like I said, got some really good positions of need, and they addressed the defense, which really needed some work, especially if that Super Bowl window is open at all. They had to address defense.
Yeah. Nah, and I like the addition of Kendrick Law, because I'm not mistaken, he was at Bama and he was kind of like a running back receiver type of guy. So if you can use him correctly on your offense, man, you got a person that could really affect winning every week, right?
Mhm.
Whether it be lining up in the split back or lining up at receiver and run a screenplay or whatever. But he's crazy athletic and he's actually a willing blocker too. So with having guys like Jamison Williams and speed and all of that, I like that.
How do you make your shorts? What kind of shorts are we talking about? Are we talking about just like the graphics and stuff? Or are you talking about like every once in a while when we drop like a thing with highlights on it? What kind of shorts are you talking about? So I can know how to answer that.
Yeah.
So okay, we finished Detroit. We got the Green Bay Packers, man.
Hmm.
Interesting draft. I like them getting Damani Jackson at round 6. I
That's
think
a
that's a
steal.
I think that's a really underrated pick right there. Highlights, it's I mean, everybody does it different. I think me and Cam we try to find the most quality highlights. We'll chop them up, we'll cut them up, and we'll get like the best ones of what we have. That really showcases what the player does. So we'll just find different videos or different highlight tapes. We'll cut them up and put what we want on an app like CapCut or Canva. You put like a caption over the top of it, and you can just upload it on YouTube, Facebook, and put whatever song or whatever you want. It's nothing too crazy. It's pretty simple, just tedious.
Yes, sir.
But I like them getting Brandon Sis in the second round. I like that pick. Chris McClellan was an interesting one as well.
Yeah, that was interesting. I didn't have him that high, but
I don't think
that's
I
a
give
good.
I don't think I give Green Bay a B plus. Probably say B
Uh,
minus. I'd probably say B
yeah,
minus. I don't want to go any lower than that because I feel like they got some really good value, but how to get the right size? Uh, you go like if you're in an app like CapCut, for instance, when you're editing the video, you go to aspect ratio, and that'll be able to get you the correct like width. So like if we're doing like reels on Facebook, for instance, I usually pick the TikTok filter because it fills the screen right. But if you're doing like reels and stuff on Facebook, I mean YouTube, you want to go with one of the skinnier ones to where it doesn't cut off your video and stuff when they're playing it. But yeah, I
yeah.
feel
And
like Green Bay.
if you're on Canva, it might be a little easier for you to find that right size because you just find a template that says either Instagram Reels or Shorts or YouTube Shorts or whatever. So you just find that, and that's a whole lot. That might be a whole lot easier for you. You find one of those, and then you go for what you know after that. Just add whatever content you're looking for, and then it goes from there. Yep. So that's the best one. But
But
Damani Jackson, that's a good one.
I give them a B. I give them a B minus. The Packers kind of in a weird spot, man, because like offensively, I feel like you need help offensively. Like weapons wise, like I feel like you still haven't addressed receiver. I'm forgetting the guy they took in the first round last year. They didn't really utilize him at all out of Texas. Yeah, I'm hoping they utilize him. But outside of him, all you have is like Christian Watkins. You lost Romeo Dobbs. I think they brought Jaden Reed back, but they don't have a true like number one. They don't really have weapons like that. You improved on defense, which you needed to because you lost Rashawn Gary and some other guys, but I wouldn't give them anything higher than a B minus here. I'm just not sold on Green Bay yet.
Yeah, man, and like I said, dog, they
I haven't personally watched them, to be honest with you. I mean,
yeah,
maybe we can check it out. Maybe we can check it out after. Maybe we can just leave a comment under one of them. But I haven't personally gotten the. We're pretty busy. Nothing personal. Just it's go. So.
Yeah, I give it a thing because, like I said, man, their window is closing fast, man.
I just don't. I'm not sold on Love. Like, I'm just not sold on him yet. Like, he's looked really good, like MVP caliber at times, but just like their lack of weapons, like I just don't know if you're getting over the hump with like nothing, you know.
Yeah, so that's my thing, man. The Bears just look like
I think the Bears are like the favorite still, in my opinion. I think Detroit is second because they did at least address those areas of need on defense. The Packers are just kind of like an unknown. You don't know what you're going to get, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's my thing, man. It's tough, man.
Okay, so we got the team that we said needed offensive line, and they only went offensive line twice, which they didn't even go tackle. I love them. The Houston Texans getting Rutledge out of Georgia Tech in round 1. I like that pick a lot. I love them getting Caden McDonald. That's a nasty defensive line with Will Anderson, Sheldon Rankins, him, and I forget the other one. That's a great pick. They have Dalton Schultz already, but I like them going tight end in round 2. Nothing crazy. I mean, I'd probably give, just based off those first 2 picks that were really good picks, I'd probably say a C plus B minus. Like, I really was kind of hoping that they would have went tackle. They just primarily went guard. And, I mean, obviously you can kind of move guys around and stuff too. But, man, you really have to invest in protecting Stroud, because if Stroud's issues are mainly because there just isn't proper protection, you can fix that, you know. But, like, if you're not giving him proper protection and he's just playing like buns, like, that's a problem, you know. So I kind of was hoping that they were going to really attack offensive line more with a tackle or two, but yeah.
You know what? I think the player that nobody's paying attention to is Aiden Fisher, man. Like him being a late round pick, man, and you know, coming off a national championship and shit, he was a big piece of that defense, man. And I think he could help them at linebacker, man. Like 7th round picks, they don't really think about it, but like I think he could be a real big piece for them, man. If he plays the way he's supposed to, the way training camp, mini camp, all of that, if he can really hone in on some stuff, like he'll be a key piece for them, man. So I think it'll be a B plus. I think B plus would be good.
Okay. Moving on to the Indianapolis Colts. I thought they did okay.
I knew it. They did good.
I like CJ Allen. I thought that was a really good piece. I love them getting AJ Halsey. It's another solid piece.
Yeah.
I feel like they did good, man. I feel like they needed help on defense, and I kind of like that they went receiver at the back end because you did lose Pittman. I kind of wish you could have got a receiver a little earlier, but I'm not going to hate on it because you really attacked defense, man. You took care of edge, you took care of linebacker, you took care of safety. I'm more than willing to give Indianapolis a B or even maybe a B plus. Like, I think they did really good, and nobody's really talking about how good they did in this draft.
Yeah, I think everybody I think everybody in this draft class can help them next year, right? I think Dylan Burks will help them in the slot and maybe even on the outside. He's a really good player. CJ Allen, probably their starting linebacker. Halsey is probably their starting safety. Then you got some edge and some linebacker help as well, so that only helps you. So I think I would even go A minus because everybody on this draft class can help them.
I love what the Colts are doing, especially from like an ownership perspective. It just feels like they've got like a fresh set of eyes, and they really just want to establish winning.
Yeah, and like I said, you got Sauce Gardner last year, right? He had
Mhm.
the injury and everything, but he comes back, boom, you good. Right on, my man.
Appreciate
Right
it.
on. So
All right.
let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
We got the Jacksonville Jaguars. What do you think about this? I like Emmanuel Prignon out of Oregon, though. By the way,
Yeah. So I mean, it doesn't feel like, oh my God, a lot of good standout names, but kind of like the Colts. It feels like you got a lot of guys that could help you next season, right? You got the tight end. I think that helps Trevor Lawrence, right? You
Mhm.
got rid of Mason Smith, right? So you address that in the third round, right? Then you get Prignon from Oregon, right? That helps you protecting Trevor Lawrence, right? You got the safety in the third round. That could help you next season, right? The edge definitely helps you. Then you get another tight end. Maybe you convert him to fullback. You never know, right? But
I wonder.
everything in here seems like they could help a lot.
I wonder who they have at running back though, because like ETN's gone, Bigsby's gone. Like I don't know who their starting running back is.
Yeah, I don't know either.
That's an it like that. Like that could be a detrimental piece because ETN was really effective in the pass and the run game, and you let him walk, and I don't know who that guy's going to be for y'all next year.
Well, I mean, one thing about Jacksonville, man, they gonna figure it out. They have some good running backs, man.
Yeah.
So I think they can find them some guys. But I like what they did, man. Sometimes I like drafts that have a lot of picks and you draft quality players. That's like the best thing. Like if you just drafting people just because, then yeah. So I think B's cool.
Kansas
Now,
City.
the
Kansas
Chiefs,
City finesse. How we let the Chiefs finesse this? Kansas City trades into the top 10 up to number 6 and gets the best corner in the draft after trading the number 1 corner McDuffie. Steal. They get one of the best D tackles, if not the best D tackle in the draft, in Peter Woods. Steal. Mason Thomas out of
B,
Oklahoma, great pick. Like, and they get Garrett Nussmeier in the 7th round, which is crazy good value in the event that, if you train this guy up and coach him up and Mahomes gets hurt again, guy could end up being your backup.
and they got Justin Fields. People forget
Yep.
that. So like they got some value, man. So
I like this draft. A- is a good grade in my opinion.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, like I said, everybody on here is gonna have an opportunity to help them, right?
Mhm.
Well, maybe not Nussmeier per se, but he got a chance to help himself.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that's
you get
good.
to learn over Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. The
Yeah.
fact that he slid that far was a bit crazy. I don't feel like he should have slid that far. I understand
They
some of the
said
injury, but
they said it wasn't like anything that we knew that was the problem, like the oblique or the shoulder or whatever. They actually said something was wrong with his knee, like it was his patella tendon was something was wrong with it, and that's where people was like, long term he won't be a good option, right? But like I said, you never know if you learn from Andy Reid how good you can be. I mean, shit, he done turned a couple quarterbacks into really good. Nobody believed in Donovan McNabb, but he's one of the best
look at what he
quarterbacks.
did. Look what he did to Alex Smith.
Alex Smith,
Like,
which, you know, You know, who else, man? Shit, wasn't he on the staff with Mike Holmgren in Green
Yeah,
Bay?
he was in Green Bay with John Gruden.
Yeah,
They had,
so
they had a bunch of
didn't he have
guys on that staff.
like Hasselbeck was like a backup, wasn't he?
I think that might have been after that, but in that same era, damn near, yeah.
Yeah, that same tree, and then Kurt Warner.
Because they had Reed, they had Gruden. I'm pretty sure Mariucci was on that staff. Like they had a bunch of guys on that staff. But I think the other thing that hurt Nussmeier was I think Brian Kelly really threw him under the bus the more chances he could with the media, and I just feel like it kind of obviously outside of the injuries, I don't think that helped. But for him, like being in a situation where people are doubting you, I think this was a really good situation for you to get drafted into. Pretty much the perfect situation because if you get a chance to play at any point in time and you learn and you actually play well, somebody might take a flyer on you. So I mean, but the Chiefs, man, I'm completely fine with giving them an A-. They killed it.
Yeah,
Didn't think they were going to do that good. They did really freaking good.
yeah, really good, man. You got some value back for trading Trent McDuffie, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we got the Las Vegas. I keep wanting to say Oakland.
A+.
Yeah, the Raiders. You get your franchise quarterback. Everybody knew it was going to be Fernando Mendoza. I like them getting Stooks out of Arizona. Caden Crawford is good. Getting Jermod McCoy in the 4th round was a really good pick. If he's able to come back and play up to his potential, that's a really, really good pick for them. I'm completely fine with an A or an A+ right here. I thought they drafted well and felt like they drafted with intent. And they got Washington in the 4th round, which is a ridiculous steal.
Yeah, Benson from Oregon. I remember him from Alabama a little bit. He's a contested catch kind of guy, so that helps out a lot. Washington and Genty in the backfield is gonna be fucking nuts. And then they got I want to say Nimby or something from Indiana. He was causing havoc, so they got him as an undrafted free agent. So the running back room is pretty good.
Weapons in general, though, they have weapons. Like, not to forget, you got Mayer and you got Brock Bowers as well. You got Besh at receiver. Like, the Raiders, not to mention all the crazy signings they made on defense, not to mention they got offensive line help with Lindenbaum or whatever from Baltimore. So the Raiders are looking really good right now.
Yeah, so.
Okay, we got the San Diego Chargers. I like them getting Messidor where they got him. I thought that was a really good pick.
Yeah, seemed like the best player available.
Mm-hmm. And they needed help on the edge.
Yeah, so I would love to see them make a little bit more moves in terms of like skill players.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like they went a little inside heavy in this draft, so they want depth on the line and depth on the defensive line.
But they realized they got to protect Herbert too, so.
Yeah, so I mean, it seemed like they got some depth.
3 guards.
Yeah, so.
And a tackle.
Yeah, so one of them is gonna help out. That's for sure.
What do you think? You think B or?
Well, I think B is fine, man. They got what they needed.
Yeah, just nothing flashy. They just stocked up.
Yeah, and honestly, that's right up Harbaugh's alley, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just get what we need, and like I said, not surprising, man.
Right, so man. The Rams got most grades I've seen. People gave the Rams some really bad grades. I've seen one of the Rams like a D. I mean, Todd Simpson, obviously that's you're drafting for the future because you really don't know what's going to happen with Stafford. Obviously, he did win an MVP last year, looked great. But we've seen instances where a quarterback's up there in age, has a crazy good year. They come up short, and then shortly after they fall off a cliff. I'm not saying that's going to happen with Stafford, but it wasn't stupid getting Todd Simpson. It was just very out of the blue. So I can understand why people are probably giving them a crappy grade because of that. I like them getting CJ Daniels in round 6. I thought that was a really good pick for them as well. I don't know about B+, though. I think that's a little high, but what you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking like C-, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Because, like, all right, you get to Ty Simpson, right? And that's fine, right? Because the Chiefs did that as well, right? When
Hmm.
Mahomes, they drafted Mahomes and they had a starting quarterback already. But you saw the vision, right? But Alex Smith didn't win MVP last year, right?
Hmm.
And that's where the confusion comes from because Stafford doesn't look like he's slowing down any time. And Ty Simpson, as good as he was and as technical as he is, he should be a good prospect for them to build around, right? He's not a project. He's really good already, right? So
Hmm.
it remains to be seen what they want to do, with him, right? And then you go second round. I thought Claire is pretty good. That could be a weapon that helps you right now, right? I think offensive line, that was a good move for round 3. But then the only one that might help you from the later ones is probably Tim Keenan, right? Like right about now, right? I think maybe CJ Daniels can grow into a piece, but that doesn't help you right now, right? I think their biggest thing was getting McDuffie, right? That was the biggest use of their draft capital, in my opinion, right? Because you needed somebody to go against Njigba, and that was the move that helped them a lot. So I think if you're talking B plus, it's because of the trade they made with that draft pick.
Hmm.
So
Okay, we got Miami. Miami
good
had a
night.
bunch of draft picks, man. I love them. So
Good
one,
night.
I'm really I love the Caden Proctor pick. I thought that was a really good job. Chris Johnson was a
Yeah.
really good pick. I'm mad that they got Jacob Rodriguez. I did not want him to go to freaking Miami. So now I get to watch him twice a year, unfortunately. But I thought they did pretty good, man. They got Chris Bell out of Louisville was a good weapon as well. And they addressed some other weapons, skill positions on defense, offensive weapons for Malik Willis to throw to. I'd probably give Miami, you know what, I'm okay with giving them a B. Because I feel like those first 3 picks can be guys who can come in immediately and help you at least not be a bottom feeder. Proctor's such a big body. You're just going to throw him in there and let him figure it out. They need help at corner. Johnson's a guy who probably can come in and play right away. And Jacob Rodriguez has got a really high football IQ, and he knows how to always be around the ball. So I'm okay with giving Miami a B, maybe B minus.
For me, man, I'm giving them an A. Like honestly, an A plus, man, because when you think about everybody that they got, man, this is a team that is full of opportunity, right? You tear it down from the top down, right? New GM, new head coach, new quarterback, right? So a lot of these players is gonna get some opportunity to play, right? But you drafted everybody that can make a difference, right? Caden Proctor is probably a starting left tackle, period, right? Chris Johnson is probably your starting cornerback, period, right? Rodriguez is your starting middle linebacker, period, right? Then Caleb Douglas has a chance to be one of the receivers next year, right? Because nobody's there has really any experience anyway. So it's an even playing field, right? The tight end, that could help you right away, right? Chris Bell could be the number 2. That's how good he is, right? Like I said, the linebacker, you got depth there, right? Those guys help you. Even on special teams, those guys help you. I think Taft he could be a starting safety, right? So everybody on here has a chance to get some clock next season. So I hope everybody that's drafted on here understands that no spot is safe, right? Except for maybe quarterback and left tackle, right? Because you addressed those this offseason, right? But everybody on here has a chance to play. So that's why I give them an A plus, man, because they drafted high quality players with the opportunity to play, right? I
Mm-hmm.
just hope everybody understands that no matter where they drafted, they have an opportunity to play.
I'll give them an A plus when they change their logo.
Yeah, that shit is.
Okay, so we have the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, you got a lot of question marks there.
Man,
Didn't
this
bring
A plus, man. Caleb Banks is dope, bro.
I didn't expect him to. I didn't expect him to go that early. To be completely honest with you, it's cool. It's cool seeing It's cool seeing Stephen F. Austin in round 5. I thought that was a really cool job. I mean,
Claiborne.
I feel like they drafted well. I think like with some of these other teams, like we said before, nothing that jumps off the page, but I feel like they addressed a lot of areas that they needed to get fixed. They still have a lot of question marks, primarily at quarterback, because you have nine, you have McCarthy, and then you just brought in Kyler Murray. You got Aaron Jones back. Obviously, your skill position on offense, you're good. I'm glad they drafted a safety, Jacoby Thomas, out of Miami, because you lost Harrison Smith. I think a B is fair. Nothing crazy, nothing flashy, but I'm okay with their draft class.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Caleb Banks is probably gonna be.
I did not expect him to go that early though, at all.
Bruh, he's big, man.
He is.
Just stick him in the middle. Like he ain't gonna do too bad. All right, man. So what you think about your Patriots, man?
I was cool with Caleb Lomu until I seen him doing that weird freaking dance when we drafted him. They were playing this freaking goofy freaking song in the background, but I'm glad they got tackled. I think a lot of people are assuming, people are not like me and you, they're like, oh, they're drafting Lomu so they can move Campbell to guard. I'm like, they're not doing that. They know Morgan Moses. I think
they should.
They should, but I think they realize Morgan Moses is getting up there in age. And they need to have a contingency plan for that. Now, obviously, if they want to move Campbell to guard and put him at tackle, they can. But still, I like Gabe Jackas out of Illinois was a really good pick. Getting a tight end at Notre Dame, I really wanted to get dude from Vanderbilt. Obviously, he went somewhere else. We'll get into here shortly. I like Jam Miller in the 7th round, though. I'd like Jam Miller and freaking Trevion Henderson in the same backfield. I'd really like that because they're two contrasting styles. He's like kind of like the big bruiser guy, and Henderson's fast and can catch the ball and everything. But I'd probably say a B. Like, I don't think we did bad at all. I think we addressed areas of need, so I'd probably go B here.
All right, no, that's fair. That's fair. I like it.
Maybe you had nothing to say. I'm surprised.
Huh?
I said I'm surprised you didn't have nothing to say.
No, cause y'all just in the Super Bowl. Y'all don't need too much, man. Like, I mean, the biggest thing is figuring out what you want to do with Campbell, right? That's the biggest thing, right? Like I said, you don't need to really do much for real. You got quarterback, you got lineman, right? But what you want to do with Will Campbell, man, because that's not just a problem, man. Seattle really targeted him as a key point in a whole defensive scheme for that game, right? He can't. He can't. He gotta get better with something, either footwork or you move him inside to really highlight his skill set of being a stout lineman. Man, that's the only thing. Because I think y'all got a good defense. You got good pieces there. You got a good line. You don't really need much, man. Just draft quality players, and that's what y'all did. That's usually what the Patriots do anyway. You draft real quality players, except receiver. That was the only thing that Bill Belichick couldn't do. But that's only now, like I said, y'all still doing the same thing, drafting quality players. Now, Saints, on the other hand, I think you drafted some pretty good players, man. I think you got some key players that could help you right now. Obviously, my biggest thing is Barian Brown. Like, if
that's
you
a
really,
huge difference maker.
If you're going to have him at kick returner, that's fine, right?
Well, I still play him a receiver because that dropping issue's fixed. He didn't barely drop anything last year.
Yeah, so I think that's the steal right there, because he should have been picked early, like maybe 4th. That's how good he could be. So I think getting Oscar Delp is good, man. Like, he's a high quality tight end, man. Seeing what he could do at Georgia, not obviously not Brock Bowers, right? But most definitely a quality receiving option, right? But he's a tough guy, so you can put him in the run too. So I like Jordan Tyson was obviously kind of weird, not weird, but got a lot of questions, right? A lot of questions about health, And then, Olave has a lot of questions about health as well. So, you know, I don't know.
I like
But,
Kristen Mill in the second round, though.
yep, I
Thought that
do.
was a good pick.
I like Lorenzo Styles, honestly.
I'm cool with giving them a B plus.
Yeah, me too.
I thought they did a really good job. Let's see. We got the New York Giants. So I'm still mad that they did not take Caleb Downs at 10. I thought that was a mistake. I feel that you could have got another tackle in round 2 at pick 37. But nonetheless, you got Orville Reese at number 5. It's a good pick. You solidifying that front end. Thought that was a good pick. Francis Waga is a good pick at tackle. Like I said, I just feel like you could have really got that anchor on your defense with Downs, especially being the fact that you're going to play him twice a year and he's going to show you why. You're going to regret that. Nonetheless, though, I thought that was a good pick. Colton Hood's a good pick out of Tennessee. Malachi Fields is another good weapon for Dart right there as well. I think they did okay. I give them a B minus. Not bad. Could have been a little bit better.
I think one of the best. I think one of the best picks is Jack Kelly out of BYU. I think
Yeah.
if they really let him do his thing, man, he could rack up 100 tackles. Period. Like he's
He's like
one of those.
he's like how he's like how Danny Stutzman was last year at Oklahoma, like one of those guys that just racks up tackles.
Yeah, like that could be a key piece for them, man. But like I said, man, the Giants are stupid. So
And then you let him go to a division rival.
yeah,
Like I just feel like that would have been a perfect chess piece for them. Like they've been needing that guy.
shit, they've been needing a good safety since fucking Jason Sehorn, bro. Like they ain't had one in a while, man. They had some good players, but they ain't had no guy back there in a while, man. So we'll see, man. But Dexter Lawrence, man, he's an idiot. I don't know why he would want to leave because they were going to fix the defense. Like they
It's
had
probably
pieces.
something else. It's probably something else that we don't know about.
Man, but that's stupid, man. You finally got the quarterback that you need. You got a new coach, right? Like the situation wasn't the same, right? But then you get traded, but then you go to Cincinnati, right? And that's cool, right? You're gonna be a part of a team that scores, but I don't know how good they gonna be on defense, man. But the Jets,
Jets
they
got
get
an
an
A
A+.
plus. Jets got A
They get
plus.
an A+, man.
Like, and I don't know if you've seen, but it's like every time that I think every time the Raiders had the first pick, whoever gets drafted after ends up being a Hall of Famer or whatever, or something I shared. So David Bailey is guaranteed to be a Hall of Famer. So that's a good pick right there. Kenyon Sadiq at 16 is a awesome pick. Obviously, Geno Smith is not your long-term option, but he's an awesome pick. I love them getting Omar Cooper out of Indiana. They get D'Angelo Pons out of Indiana. That's a great pick. Daryl Jackson's a good pick. Them getting Cade Klubnik in round 4 is interesting. I just want to see how they're going to be developing. Are they going to be able to unlock him and unlock that potential that I feel like everybody's been kind of waiting on? But I thought that was really good value in round 4. They addressed guard. They addressed safety. This is the best draft class I've seen for the Jets in a very long time. This is an A+. Questionably the best class in this entire draft.
Yeah, man. I think Cade Klubnik he'll probably be QB1. Like if they actually gave Brady Cook a shot, then maybe. But I doubt.
I
I
think
doubt it.
Klubnik can be QB1 before the end of this year.
Yeah,
In my
I
opinion,
do.
if Geno Smith struggles like he did last year, yeah, they're going to give Klubnik the nod before the end of the year. They might let Cook, depending on how everything goes in training camp and preseason, but we'll see. But I fully anticipate him to get some really good looks this year.
Mm-hmm.
Good job for the Jets, man. The Browns and the Jets really did really good. Man, the Eagles, I'm so tired of Howie Roseman cheating. I'm tired of it. You got like the best receiver in the draft at pick 20. You get pretty much damn near the best tight end in the draft in round 2. Like, what are we doing, bro?
Then you got one of the biggest offensive linemen in Bell.
You got a good safety to replace Blankenship in round 7 out of Texas Tech.
Oh my God! Yeah,
Wisniewski.
Cole was good at North Dakota. Like he was good. Like he was good. So him going to Texas Tech was a perfect match. But he's gonna be good.
I'm giving the Eagles at least an A.
And then you get what's that, Bernard?
Yeah.
Like they just found him.
He's big as hell.
Like and you get him in the 7th round and he's gonna be like crazy good. If he figures it out, right? And they give him time, which he's on a good team that doesn't really need him to play right now.
They could develop him.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro.
But the fact that those 2 weapons in round 1 and 2, bro, that's crazy. So if you lose AJ Brown, which it looks like they're gonna get rid of Brown, you're still gonna have weapons, bro. You're still gonna have Devontae Smith. You're gonna have Mekhi Lemon. You're gonna have Dallas Goedert. You're gonna have Eli Stowers. You're gonna have Saquon Barkley.
They're gonna be cold, man.
Like I'm giving the Eagles an A.
A+, most definitely.
Yeah, I'll agree on A+ because I thought they did really good. All right, so we got the Pittsburgh Steelers here, man. I thought that the Arizona State tackle he's big as hell. He can move. He's fast. He's strong. I like them getting Jeremy Bernard in round 2. I didn't really get Drew Aller in the sense that I didn't really see anything I liked from Drew Aller last year, and we already have Will Howard. So I don't know if Pittsburgh was drafting him with the intentions we're going to let him and Howard battle it out, and somebody's going to end up being our guy long term. I didn't really like the pick, but nonetheless, I mean, I feel like the Steelers did good. They drafted another running back at the back end out of Navy, Heidenreich. Thought that was a pretty cool pick. I don't know if I give them an A-, but for the most part, man, I thought they did okay.
Yeah, I mean, I like the A- though. I mean, you get the tackle. Arizona State, that helps. Jeremy Bernard helps you right now. Allard, question mark, but I mean, you keep him close to home, right? You don't have to worry about him, like, oh, I got to teach him the way of Pennsylvania. No, he gets it. Everett is like the one for me, though, because he is really good. Like he remind me of Eli Stokes a little bit. Remember him from Georgia? He went in the 1st round, but he's with the Raiders now, right? So, like just a tall, fast corner, right? Mm-hmm. But if you could really get him to work on his technique, he'd be even better, So, and then like I said, Heidenreich, great story, by the way. So that'll be interesting to see what he can do. Is he your typical 7th round draft pick that you hope makes the team, or can he really contribute? Because I think he can. Like he obviously has some pretty good catching skills. Being the all-time like leading receiver in fucking Navy history, so he obviously can catch. So we'll see if they can get him pretty good, man. But I really like Everett and then Dunker. That's gonna be nice. Not for my Ravens, but nice.
Hey, we got San Francisco, man. I like Stribling out of Mississippi in round 2. I think like the Niners really need help at the receiver position because what they lost Jennings, you lost Debo last year. You really don't have a whole lot of receiver options. All you have is what dude out of Florida they drafted last year. I thought that was a silly pick, or the year before. I forget his name. I don't know, man. The Niners are in a weird spot. I mean, they kind of went down the middle. They addressed some needs on defense. They addressed some things on offense. I don't know if I'd give them an A- necessarily, but they didn't have a bad draft. I mean, I'd probably say a B maybe.
Yeah, B. I think a lot of these players can help with their team, though.
Mm-hmm.
They add depth per se, right? So That's about it. Just seems like a lot of depth pieces and maybe
Mm-hmm.
a couple starters,
I think
but
they're banking on not having the injury bug. I think that's what they're banking on.
and then you have the depth to kind of help out with that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think.
Okay, we got the reigning Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. They take Jadarian Price in the last pick of the first round. Neither one of us seen that coming. I think we both mocked Washington out of Arkansas there. Nonetheless,
Yeah,
it's a good pick. You had to address the running back position. You lose Kenneth Walker. I like that. I like them getting Bud Clark out of TCU. And for the most part, man, you don't really have any holes. I like the fact that they attacked the secondary in the draft because you're losing some guys in the secondary. You got three corners here. I like that. You get defensive tackle. I feel like the Seahawks played it smart. They didn't like risk too much, but they addressed areas that they lost, and they needed to go younger in other position groups.
yeah. So
I'd
I
say a B
mean,
plus is okay.
yeah, yeah. I just think, man, you kind of replace Kenneth Walker with Kenneth Walker in a sense. Like I just kind of wanted them to do something different per se. But I mean, I think your team's good already,
Mm-hmm.
so you just need to add some good pieces, and I think that's what they did. So I'm trying to see who Emmanuel Henderson is because I think he played at Alabama, and he was kind of like a a receiver, running back type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. So that's a cool piece for you to play with. You never know how that's gonna turn.
Tampa Bay gets an A minus just off the fact that they got Ruben Bain at 15. Do you understand the
Yeah,
revenge tour that he's going to ensue on the rest of the NFL for getting passed on to pick 15? Ridiculous, bro. They needed an edge really bad, and they got questionably one of the best edges in the entire draft. Ruben Bain at 15 is a great freaking play, good piece. Josiah Trotter out of Missouri is a good piece. I like Bauer Sharp in the 6th round. They need tight end anyway, and he showed areas of promise. He needs to fix the fumbling issue, but for the most part, he's got good hands, deceptive speed. So I'm okay with an A minus B plus here for Tampa. Just straight to the
yeah.
point.
Trotter at 2 at the second round is pretty good too, man. That'll help them. You obviously just lost David,
Yep.
Levante David, so you need somebody to come in and play. And he's got a good bloodline, being Jeremiah Trotter's son. So there you go. It's a good draft. That's a good draft, man. I like Keontae Scott too, so that should be interesting.
Bain at 15 is insane.
Yeah,
So we got Tennessee, man. Did not see Cornell Tate going number 4 overall. We can just start off with that. That was a shocker. I mean, and he's been getting a lot of stuff. They're like, oh, he's not the best receiver on his team, but like, obviously Tennessee saw something. If they're willing to freaking draft him at 4, I thought that was
yeah,
kind of a risky pick. I kind of was thinking they were going to go somewhere else, but I'll look past that. I love them getting Keldrick Falk. I thought that was a good pick in round 1. Anthony Hill is going to be a really good piece for them as well.
yeah,
I like that. I actually like them getting Nick Singleton in round 5. I think he could be a good piece to go inside of Pollard for the time being as well.
yeah. So I mean, I like the draft anywhere. Like I like the fact that they got Tate because it changed the whole draft.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think had they went chalk like everybody else did, I think it would have been a boring draft to cover. But them
Mm-hmm.
going Tate, although like I said, I say this to the end of time, I wasn't sold on him because he wasn't the number one option on his own team, right? But if you're gonna show your quarterback you believe in him, get him somebody to throw to. And that's what they did. So I appreciate them doing that, helping Cam Ward out, man. But then they went to what affects winning, right? You get the edge, you get the linebacker, and then you get the inside guy, right? And then you get the running back, right? So I like the way they did it, man. I think Robert Saleh gonna have them guys right.
I think the Titans are in a really good spot.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, we got the last team, man. The Washington Redskins. Oh, Commanders. I think one of the best. I think one of the best value picks in this entire draft is them getting Styles at 7. That is great. Again, the name, but them getting freaking Styles 7th pick. I think that's going to really give their defense such an uplift. I like them getting Katron Allen in round 6 too. I mean, I'd probably give them a B-, but I really like Styles to Washington. I think that's exactly what they needed. Just makes you think of like all those really good linebackers they had in the past, and I just think he's going to be the next one.
Yeah, man, I like Allen too. I think he might be running back number 1, to be honest with you, because he's like really good, man. Like he's a really good running back, man. I know Penn State season didn't go as well as people would hope, but he's a good running back, though, man. Like I said, man. So I like it. I like a beat for them.
Well, that, my friend,
that is it. Gee, that's it, man.
Not too bad.
No, not too bad, man. I think we covered everything. Got some really good conversation going in there. So,
but if you guys stay tuned, the next month or so is going to be a little bit different. We have a string of interviews we're going to be tying into the end of April and beginning of May. Next week, same place, same time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 Central. We're going to have Kentucky State's football head coach, Felton Huggins Jr. He played in the NFL as well. That's going to be a really cool one. And we have some other ones lined up, but we're not going to spoil it yet because there might be some other developments coming along. But if you like interviews, this will be our first college coach. We haven't interviewed an actual coach yet. If you want to check out some of the other interviews we have, if you're listening or watching on YouTube, if you go to our if you go to the playlists, if you go to interview time, you can check out our interview with Matt Moscona, ESPN Radio Baton Rouge. If you want a former NFL player, we have Todd McClure in there. If you want high school, we have our high school coach from our alma mater in there. And if you want a current NFL player, we have Patrick Queen of the Pittsburgh Steelers in there. So we're touching all places. We're touching all avenues. Like I said, this coming Sunday, same place, same time, Kentucky State's head football coach will be on for an interview exclusive. You don't want to miss it. But if you like this kind of content, make sure to smash the like button, comment, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and make sure when you subscribe on YouTube, you hit that bell notification so you never miss a beat. Every time we go live, every time we upload something, you will be the first person that gets a notification.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Nothing on the music tip yet. Like I said, we are in a little hiatus, man. But like I said, when y'all know when the next one drops, be all right. So just keep enjoying it, and we keep on working, man. Keep supporting, and we'll catch you on the next one, man. Like I said, y'all gonna love what we got coming up, man. So see y'all on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.